A Louis Vuitton Neverfull used to cost $600. Today, over $2,000. But here's the twisted part. While prices skyrocketed 76%, the resale market is collapsing. 20% value drops in just 90 days. Canvas cracking that LV refuses to repair. 50 million consumers walking away entirely. Meanwhile, Texas factory workers earning $17 an hour assemble bags marketed as European craftsmanship. This is the complete unraveling of what was once the world's most coveted fashion house. Today, we're exposing every category, every lie, every reason Louis Vuitton might not deserve your money anymore. Number 1 will shock you. Classic canvas. Monogram bags, the foundation that's cracking. The LV monogram was a passport to status. At $600 to $1,200, they felt attainable yet exclusive. The monogram whispered wealth without shouting desperation. Then came the flood. LV expanded aggressively. The monogram went from rare sighting to airport terminal wallpaper. But the real betrayal? Quality nosedived while prices skyrocketed. Vintage canvas is measurably thicker than modern production. Today's bags crack at stress points, corners, zippers, openings. Louis Vuitton's official policy? They won't repair cracked canvas, period. 2007, $600. 2025, 2030, that's a 238% increase. Inflation? Only 58%. Canvas is PVC-coated synthetic material. Plastic. You're paying $2,000 for material that costs pennies to produce. A cracked canvas Speedy sells for $300 maximum. General LV bags retain only 70 to 80% of their value. Hermes? 100% or more. Louis Vuitton monogram canvas is like buying a Hermes scarf with knockoff silk. The pattern looks prestigious, but the second you touch it, you realize you've been sold theater, not textile. Imprint leather bags, the premium lie. Empreinte leather was LV's answer to canvas critics. Premium calfskin with monogram embossed into every inch. It felt like $3,000 worth of craftsmanship. Then owners started using their bags. Within a year, the truth emerged. The embossing fades, corners rub bare, the glazing melts in heat or cracks in cold. Bags from 2013 to 2014 were catastrophic. Large format bags warped under their own weight. LV's response? Working as intended. No recalls, no acknowledgement. The embossing visibly fades within 12 to 24 months. Glazing issues concentrated in 2013-14 production, widely documented. Empreinte pieces run $2,500 to $4,500. Bottega Veneta sources leather from the same tannery as Hermes, the only two brands with that access. Their bags at $2,500 to $3,500 are fully handwoven by Italian artisans. Louis Vuitton charges the same for machine-embossed leather that fades within a year. Resale? Empreinte pieces struggle to hit 70% retention. You paid $3,500 for leather, not plastic. Then you watch helplessly as the embossing fades, the glazing cracks, the corners wear bare. Your friend's Bottega, purchased the same year for the same price, still looks pristine. Empreinte leather is like buying a couture gown, only to discover the beading is plastic glued on at a warehouse. The label says luxury, but the construction says, we hoped you'd never inspect it. Collaboration overload. When hype became desperation. When Virgil Abloh joined Louis Vuitton in 2018, fashion history shifted. The Supreme collaboration in 2017 created riots. These were cultural moments. Resale prices tripled overnight. Then the formula got exhausted. Post-Virgil, collaborations felt calculated. The Yayoi Kusama collaboration flooded the market with pumpkin print everything. The formula became visible. Limited collab, artificial hype, price surge, market saturation, next collab. Rinse, repeat. Gen Z could smell the desperation. LVMH fashion and leather goods revenue down 6.1% in Q3 2024. Asia down 16% year over year. Virgil Abloh pieces now selling below retail on StockX, except earliest drops. Supreme XLV in 2017 still commands 2 to 5 times retail. Yayoi Kusama in 2023, resale barely above retail. The more collaborations LV releases, the less special each becomes. Gen Z favors Dior, 49% preference over LV. You bought the Virgil Clouds hoodie for $1,400, thinking it was the next Supreme box logo. Now it's an expensive hoodie you're afraid to wear because it might devalue further, but also afraid to sell because you'd take a loss. LV's collaboration strategy is like a designer releasing a capsule collection every 6 months. By the 5th, you realize they're rehashing the same silhouettes with different prints, hoping you won't notice they've stopped creating anything new. EPI leather, the overpriced middle ground. Epi leather launched in 1985 as Louis Vuitton's answer to logo fatigue, decades before quiet luxury became a trend. These pieces aged beautifully. The leather developed patina. No cracking canvas, no fading embossing. This was LV at its best. Understated quality. 2 problems emerged. First, pricing became indefensible. An Epi pochette accessoire costs $1,450 for a small clutch. Comparable leather from Polène, a French brand, costs $490. Second, LV's production issues crept in. The Texas factory, with documented quality control issues, started producing these premium lines. Resale retention sits around 75 to 80%. Respectable, but not exceptional. The Texas facility produces Epi leather goods at lower quality standards. Workers paid $17 an hour versus Italian artisan wages. Compare Polène Numero 1, full leather, French-made, $490. Bottega Cassette, superior leather, Italian artisan, $25.90. The Row Margot, investment grade, $5,700, resells 15% above retail. LV Epi pieces, $1,200 to $2,800. Resells at 25% loss minimum. You chose Epi to avoid the LV traps. You felt smart, sophisticated. Then you discover Bottega Veneta, Polène, low. You realize you paid a 40 to 60% premium purely for the Louis Vuitton stamp inside a bag that screams nothing on the outside. Epi leather is like paying haute couture prices for ready-to-wear in the same fashion house. Same fabrics, same construction, but you're paying extra purely for the label. Small leather goods, the gateway drug. Small leather goods were the genius gateway. $300 to $800 bought you into the LV ecosystem without crushing debt. These pieces introduced millions to the brand, creating loyalty that would eventually drive 4-figure bag purchases. But small doesn't mean immune to LV's quality issues. Canvas small leather goods crack just like bags. Card holders warp from pocket heat. The canvas coating peels. The value proposition collapsed entirely. A monogram card holder costs $500. For $500, you could buy a Bottega Veneta leather card case that'll last decades, or 5 Bellroy premium wallets. The gateway became a trap. You pay luxury prices for something that'll show wear within 6 months, conditioning you to accept this as normal before you spend $2,000 on a bag. Compare Goyard St. Pierre, $465, 100% plus resale retention. Hermes Calvi, $455, resells for $600 plus. Bottega Intrecciato, $350, superior leather. Canvas wallets show corner wear within 6 to 12 months. Monogram coating cracks at fold points. Small leather goods hook you with affordable luxury, then train you to accept deteriorating quality as normal. By the time you're eyeing a $2,000 bag, you've been conditioned. Buying LV small leather goods is like purchasing designer samples at a trunk show, only to discover the stitching is unfinished and the fabric isn't color fast. Capucines, the almost Hermès that never was. The Capucines launched in 2013 as Louis Vuitton's answer to Hermès. Prices started at $5,000 and climbed to $15,000 plus. These bags said, "We're not just canvas and monograms, we're serious luxury." At $6,000 to $10,000, the Capucines should compete with Hermès Kelly and Chanel Classic Flap, but it doesn't. Hermès bags appreciate. Chanel flaps retain value. The Capucines drops to 70 to 75% resale value the moment you walk out the door. The leather isn't exceptional. The construction isn't hand-stitched by individual artisans. It's machine-made in factories where quality control varies wildly. You saved for 2 years for a Capucines, then you see resale listings everywhere, priced thousands below retail, sitting unsold. The Capucines is like buying a bespoke suit, only to discover someone else is selling a better one that appreciates while yours depreciates instantly. The production system, where the lie lives. Every category we've discussed traces back to one ugly truth. Louis Vuitton's production system is fundamentally broken. The brand sold a story of French ateliers and master artisans. That story justified the price. In 2019, LV opened a massive facility in Texas. Workers paid $17 to $22 an hour. Quality control ranked among the worst globally. You cannot scale artisan craftsmanship. You cannot mass-produce heirlooms. Same price range. Vastly different craftsmanship. Canvas cracks because volume matters more than quality. Leather fades because standards slipped. Collaborations distract from core product failure. The pattern behind the collapse: volume plus marketing plus price escalation equals short-term profit, but long-term brand erosion. Louis Vuitton in 2025 isn't a luxury brand. It's a luxury branded manufacturer. You didn't just buy a bag, you bought a story. And the market finally figured it out. The future belongs to brands delivering real value. Louis Vuitton chose volume over virtue. The bill just came due. If this video changed how you see luxury forever, hit subscribe. Drop a comment. Are you still buying Louis Vuitton after this?